I'm your friendly new media Mothman, Zach the Mothman Daggy. Welcome to another edition of the Midnight Spook Show, your online source for all the horror news, reviews, and interviews that you can scream at. And for this edition of Midnight Spook Show, I thought I'd do a review on a film that, it started in theaters before Spookshow made its premiere, and so it never had an official review here on the show. And now that it's on DVD, I figured it'd be fair game to review it right here. And that movie is the official remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, full disclosure before I begin, and that is that, Mothmaniacs, there are three names that keep me coming back to the horror genre again and again. And those names are Michael, Jason, and Freddy. These are the triumvirate of the horror genre. They are the three ones that really made the 80s. Yes, Halloween started in 1979, but I mean, come on. You can't see movies of the 1980s that are of the horror genre and not think that they were at their peak in the 80s. And I think a lot of it has to do with these three names, these three unique character figures that just really made the genre. So I am a huge fan of Freddy Krueger movies, that is. So I figured I'd mention that before reviewing this movie. And, let's start with the basics. We'll go through who made this movie and such. It's directed by Samuel Bayer, who isn't exactly known for his movie making. He did a lot of cool music documentaries, including Green Day's Bullet in the Bible, along with a number of music videos, including music videos for Metallica, Blink-182, David Bowie, and a lot of others. So this is a music video guy, but a lot of music video guys have some interesting imagery taste, so I'm not exactly holding that against them. It stars one of my favorite actors. I know I say that a lot, but seriously, this guy is awesome. Jack Early Haley. He takes over the fedora of Freddy Krueger in this film. And you may recognize him from the film Watchmen, which he was genius in and playing Rorschach, as well as the film Shutter Island. It also has Rooney Mars, who you may have seen recently in The Social Network, and just got the dream gig for an actress today of getting the lead role in the upcoming film The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It also has Kyle Gallner of Jennifer's Body, and also from the TV series Smallville. He plays Flash/Impulse. And it also has David Cassidy's Flesh and Blood of Katie Cassidy, who you may recognize from the film Supernatural and When a Stranger Calls. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the source material, basically what A Nightmare on Elm Street is about is the ghost of a guy who was burned pretty badly. I'm not going to go into all the details in case you haven't seen any of the films. And the ghost of this guy starts killing the teenagers of Elm Street by going into their dreams. And if you die in the dream, you die in real life. And so the classic 1980s original Nightmare on Elm Street was done by Wes Craven, who, if you've seen previous episodes, you know he's one of my all-time favorite horror filmmakers. And A Nightmare on Elm Street, quite frankly, the original, is my personal favorite horror film. There's been better ones, but in the end, that's the one I keep coming back to. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to say this, and that's that the remake isn't as bad as a lot of reviewers will have you think. You know, sure, there are tons of Freddy films a lot better than the remake, but it's better than some of them. It's better than the sixth one, Freddy's Dead. It's better than the second one. And I think it's better than the fourth one. So if you do the math, it's like average. There's nothing really special about this remake, but it's not worse than some of the bad Freddy movies. Zachary Haley does an amazing job as the new Freddy Krueger. The new makeup though, is significantly different than the original Freddy Krueger. It's made to be more realistic, and because of that, he doesn't quite have the facial expressions range that I wish he had, because I think it inhibits his acting. He's a brilliant actor. I think he does a brilliant job as Freddy Krueger. I can't wait to see him play the part again as the franchise continues, but they need to improve the makeup. I know they want to go for a grittier, more realistic take, but come on. The other thing is that what made the original series so good were the psychological aspects. You know, the old Freddy, you know, how he would go after a sleepwalker is basically by using his tendons as strings as a marionette puppet and make this guy walk off a building. You know, he went after the weaknesses mentally of his prey. He basically toyed with them. There's not much toying with this Freddy. I'm not gonna say there's none. There's some, but it's mostly jump scares. You know, and those are really just cheap scares. I want moody, atmospheric scares, which there are a few, but not enough. And I don't know. It's not the Freddy I know and love. This is a new Freddy that just goes after you with his claws on his hand, and it's cheap to me. There's a sequel coming out. It's been approved. I'm hoping that they're gonna catch on from their mistakes, or maybe even release a director's cut. From what I understand, they had the good Freddy in the original cut of this film, but it got re-edited and changed, and we got the lesser film. So, in my opinion, if you're a Freddy Krueger fan, check it out. It's still an awesome Freddy Krueger movie, and it's good to see him back on the screen. Even if it's not Robert Englund, who I'm a huge fan of. In other words, it's really not that bad. It's not a great horror film, but it is a good horror film. If you're a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street series, check it out. You will enjoy it. So that's my take on the film. It's in other words, it's not great and it's not bad. It's somewhere in between. So check it out, especially if you're a fan of the series. And until next time, I'm your friendly new media mouse man, advising that when watching great horror films, be sure to turn it up and turn out the lights. Cheers.
Just hold me tight and tell me you'll miss me while I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me.
This episode of Midnight Spookshow is made possible thanks to eMusic. eMusic is the #1 site for independent music, and you can get 35 free tracks of your choice simply by trying out a 14-day free trial over at emusic.com/moth. And yes, indeed, Midnight Spookshow is proud to be a paid affiliate of eMusic.